I've been hearing a lot of stories about folks struggling to make ends meet. I got friends I've been talking to, and that things have changed where they were doing okay before. Now they're not doing quite as well, and of course the price of everything going up has been a problem. Marie Cosgrove is the author of Greater Fortune: Essential Lessons from the Entrepreneur Who Bought the Company That Fired Her. I love that story. Marie, welcome to the program. We're happy to have you on.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on with you.
I want to hear, give me the Reader's Digest version of how you bought the company that fired you.
So I was doing too well in sales, single mom, 4 kids, dad lost parental rights due to domestic violence, and they said I was making too much money in commissions, and I was offered a salaried position, and I said I can't take that because I need to support my kids. And of course, employers, they don't care what's going on with you, right? That's a personal thing. But I just couldn't do it, so I said I'm going to stay on the structure I'm on now. And they said, you can't do that. You can't come back to the company. You can't work for us. You're fired. And I had to start all over again. So I started another company. I scaled it. And then 2 years later, I was able to buy the company that fired me.
Did you fire the guy that fired you?
No, everybody asks me that. I didn't, because you know what? We're very niche. We're in healthcare. We help doctors diagnose dizziness, concussion, traumatic brain injuries, and things of that nature. We make a device for that. And so the owners were all clinicians and engineers, the top in the world. So I just make sure they stay in their lane and they stay out of sales completely because they don't understand sales.
They clearly don't if they're firing you for doing too well.
For doing too well, right. But they're great at what they do. So, no, I didn't fire them. This was 10 years ago in 2010, actually a little over 10 years ago, and we're the world leader in our industry.
Well, things are different now. It seems like every avenue you try to go down, it's getting tougher and tougher to make ends meet. And I know a lot of people are very stressed about this, and money stress is always probably one of the biggest things that affects most of us in the United States. And, it's tough to deal with, especially when you're a full-time worker and you're having trouble covering the bills.
Absolutely. It can be very stressful. If you're a single parent, I know there's a lot of single parents out there, and it can be very stressful. So one of the things I say is you've got to be able to be flexible, to be able to be adaptable, and look for opportunities. I know when I was a single mom, I had to look at ways how to travel with my kids, take my kids with me, and being able to plan things out. So a lot of times we tend to focus on, oh no, I'm a single parent, or maybe you're not, maybe you're a couple and you're struggling with your finances, and you're thinking, oh no, what's going to happen? We're going to have a recession, and you're so stressed out about what's going to happen. Take a look at where you are now. Take control of the things that you can control. Because we can't control, the gas prices are gone up. We can't control that. There are situations we can't control. We can't control the crazy decisions our government makes sometimes that affect all of us. The things you can do, you can take a look at your budget. You can take a look at your bank statements, your credit card statements. Look at where you're spending your money right now. Maybe there's some expenses you have that you don't need. And then you can separate what you absolutely must have, what you don't need, and you can pivot. You can change things. For example, instead of spending money on entertainment, there's things you can do for free with your family. You can take them to the park. You can do a picnic in the park instead of going out to eat to spend time with your family. So there are things that you can do for free, and it's just learning how to be adaptable, how to be flexible, even with your employer. Seek ways instead of how can they serve me? How can I serve them? Instead of looking at yourself as just an employee, you're actually adding a service, and what you do is amazing. They're lucky to have you. When you wake up in the morning, instead of I have to get to work at 8 o'clock today, I get to go to work at 8 o'clock. When you change your perspective, your employer is going to value you much more because now you're adding value to the company. You're a big part of the team. You're not just an employee. You are part of the company. And it's so easy nowadays to be successful because most people operate barely getting by. They just have, bad attitude and woe is me and just do enough to get by. But when you go above and beyond and looking how you can serve instead of how to be served, you just add so much more value. You have your employer is going to be less likely to let you go. You're going to be the first one to get bonuses. And don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to give ideas to your employer that are going to make the workplace a better place. Also, there are things that you can do in addition to cutting back on expenses and saving money, finding ways on, maybe someone could use your services for, maybe babysitting. Maybe there's some skill set that you have that other people can use. And right now we have so many platforms online for those things, such as Thumbstack, Fiverr, other.
Yeah, we talked about not too long ago. We talked about these the side hustles, and it's amazing. Most people have something else going on the side because I think everybody's kind of gotten to that point where they don't want to be completely reliant on one source of income.
Exactly. Yeah. I have there was a girl at a doctor's office, and during the shutdown, she was really worried because they were in her state, New Jersey, only doctors that were dealing with COVID could stay open. Others couldn't. So she was really, really worried. Started a cleaning business, sanitation. She was doing testing, diagnostic testing that had nothing to do with COVID. And it was still life-saving, diabetes and things of that nature. But that state was like, you only deal with COVID. So she opened up the side hustle. Now it's $1 million cleaning business.
Well, I love hearing stories like that. I know it's possible, but for a lot of folks, they think, that's a long shot at best. And it's the journey you're on to get you there. But once you get there, it's a great story, too. Marie Cosgrove is the author of Greater Fortune, Essential Lessons from the Entrepreneur Who Bought the Company That Fired Her. Marie, thank you so much for calling me this morning. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.